Americans are falling behind. Economic collapse news. Hey, gang, today I'm going to show you the charts, the statistics, because people say, Mike, you don't have proof of what you say. You don't have proof because I have my ear on the heartbeat of the streets versus using charts and statistics. But today I want to just show you a couple of major points for you guys to look at. And let's look at the chart number one. Today we're seeing first line, the white line right here, is going to be the incomes in America. The next line is going to be the blue line, is going to be the college, then the housing, and then medical. So I want to help you realize since 2018, the income that people make is actually gone down in 2010, and it's starting to come up just a tad, right? And if you look at it, it's coming up in 2018, okay, just a tad. But if you look at the other expenses that have came up, for example, college. It doesn't matter if you want to get an undergrad, if you want to, which is the blue line, if you want to get a medical degree. Look how expensive it has come up, guys. Just look at how expensive that blue line has come up. Okay. Now, if you subtract the income minus the blue line, you'll notice something really big is happening. There is a deficiency. There's a big amount that's less. So where is this amount come from? This amount in the pink, the difference between the white line and the blue line for college. Well, what about medical? What is the difference between this line and this line come from? Okay, well, that comes in through debt. So this chart simply shows, it's not my chart, it's from Bloomberg. It simply shows that as times go along, people are falling behind because the amount of money they make doesn't matter if they have college degrees or not. And as more and more people go to college, the cost of college is becoming more and more expensive. The cost of housing is becoming more and more expensive. And the cost of medical is getting more and more expensive. But more importantly, none of these things are catching up with the what with the pay that people get. Okay, that's why we are having riots all over the world because people's pay, this line right here, is a lot less than these other items and a lot more, like food and groceries and you know clothes and everything you can imagine. But in this chart, Bloomberg only focused about college, which is so more expensive. Healthcare, so much more expensive. Housing, so much more expensive than the people can afford. Now, one of the major problems with that is that we're having that difference between the white line, which is the people's salary, and college. The difference between this, the difference between housing. And what does the difference mean? The difference means debt. So the difference between that becomes to what I call debt. Okay. Now, and here's the proof that online installment loans have just been surging, okay, exponentially since 2014. And you can just see it just straight go up, guys, like so much more, right, than what it is just a few years ago. Now, I want to continue a little bit further because we're not seeing is that, as I talked about in my other YouTube videos, the further you are from the printing press, the further you are from the Fed, right, then the higher the cost of borrowing money. And here's a perfect example where there are two types of banking systems in America, okay, or in the world. We have the traditional bank where you go to a Bank of America and you borrow money. That's traditional, or and then you have the untraditional. The untraditional is like hard money. The untraditional, if you're a real estate investor, you know what hard money is. The untraditional is payday loans if you're a civilian and you're behind in payment, or car title loans or credit cards. And now the untraditional banking, because remember there's traditional banking and untraditional. And the untraditional, there's many different types. It's hard to identify, but there's untraditional lending like payday loans, hard money lending, all the way to complex ideas that me and you don't understand, like derivatives, and people with a PhD don't even understand. Okay, and derivatives are basically an untraditional lending of the future, etc. Okay, now what I want to bring your attention to is that you're seeing that these untraditional banks, okay, they're having 3 digits payout interest rates from anywhere from 34%, like you see your average credit card, all the way to the 155%, which you see at payday loans and other complex derivatives that we don't even understand. Many people don't understand it. Why do I say that? 2016, 2017, no, I'm sorry, 2006, 2007, last market crash, the derivatives, the trick was mortgage-backed securities, right? Mortgage-backed securities, they bundle a bunch of bad loans into some good ones, and they sold it on the stock market to investors all over the world. The credited agencies rated them at A. There really was rated at F or C's because there was a lot of subprime people that shouldn't have been getting loans. So we have all these instruments and trickeries and derivatives that people don't understand. And the point I'm trying to make is that there is a difference between what people are making and what the cost of housing is or the cost of medical is. And that difference is coming through debt right here. They're getting to debt. And the debt they're paying for is coming right here at 34% to 134%, depends on what type of for how depends on how further they are away from the printing press. Okay, for example, the Fed has member banks. The member banks get free money at ultra low. Then as it trickles down to other banks, they get it lower. Then the retail people get it. They get it. People that go to Bank of America, they pay a lot more than the member banks of the Fed. The retail pay more than traditional bankers that are not members of the Fed. The people that go to payday loan, they're paying a lot more than the people that go to Bank of America to get a mortgage. So the further they are from the printing press, okay, and there's different requirements, okay. For a civilian, they're gonna need to have a FICO score, they need to have a debt to income ratio. For too big to fail banks and corporations, they're just giving the money. They don't have to have the requirements that we have to have as civilians. So the further you are from the Fed, the more regulation, the more loopholes, the more requirements it is for you to qualify. And then when you do qualify, the more you're going to pay. The closer you are to the printing press, the less qualification, the less requirements, and you're getting free money for almost for free or almost pretty much free, right? And that's the point I'm trying to make is that Americans are falling behind because the cost of living just surpasses the cost of goods. I mean, the cost of their pay. And that's because of inflation. Now, if you are, sorry guys, I'm in my car charging my EV car. So that's why you're hearing that. Now, go back to the story. The problem is that the more the Fed prints, the more the Fed cuts interest rate, they're knowingly and willingly wanted to have high inflation. The problem with having high inflation, that not only is it a killer for the savers, but is also a, a killer for our economy because it tells everyone that you shouldn't hold their money because the money has no value because the cost of goods are getting higher and higher. That's exactly what happens to Venezuela. That's exactly what happens to any country that's going to collapse, like Zimbabwe, right? I'm sorry, I probably butchered their name. But the point of the story is still true. The more they print, the more that you lower the interest rate, the Fed, the more the people, they trains the people to consume more and not to be savers because the money has no value in saving. And in that type of psychological, economical medicine, the prescription is going to have major side effects from everyone to be indebted to everyone working class, middle class, the presence, the money be ciphered through down the river to the riches, and worst of all, killing Mother Earth, our home, kids' home or future kids' home by thinking that we can constantly pump out new iPhones and destroy the environment, and so we could get more higher growth, higher profits, versus coming up with a gadget that we take out the little piece that doesn't work, that's been downgraded, replace that piece, keep the remaining the same, because 90%, 80% of the unit is still good, right? Versus, the part that needs to be upgraded, or they could make it where it's all of it is just replaceable, right? You just slide out the screen, you slide out the battery, versus the way they have it. So when we have a system like this, it just creates poverty. It creates riches for the riches, and it makes everyone work their butts off for a society that's collapsing, because the only way to stay alive is to consume, to watch entertainment, to get really, really drunk. And because people don't want to know what the situation is, that they're heavily in debt, that they're not making it, the cost of living, even though they have a college degree or a master's or a PhD or a doctor. Okay, that the cost of living is so much more and more, and they're so behind, because right off the bat, as a doctor, you know, as I watched on YouTube, there are doctors that are $400,000 in debt, not including undergrad. And so when you have that kind of pressure with that kind of debt, then you see why, I don't trust doctors. I don't trust attorneys or real estate agents. I listen to them, but I'm going to make the final decision, because we're in a situation that everyone must upsell. The doctor has to prescribe me a medicine or procedure, because they got to make more money, versus them looking out for my interests and putting their own interest aside, that, hey, I'm in debt like crazy, so, but I shouldn't sell this guy an extra procedure. Maybe if they don't take any medicine and take some apples or take some fiber, will fix the problem or something. But they're not going to, it's not to their interest, especially if they're so in debt. So the whole system, doesn't matter if you're a doctor, if you're a janitor, is enslavement, servitude, numbing out the pain by material things, right? By consumption and by entertainment. That's why entertainment is the biggest things in America, like, NFL, UFC, football, soccer. They have everything. They have entertainment for everything you can imagine. You know, who can eat the most hot dogs? I mean, anything you can fucking imagine is here, because the system is to numb you, to work you, to siphon your life out of you. And the other thing I want to add on here is why America's fallen apart behind, is because, and this could be another video, the divorce rate. America has one of the highest divorce rates, right? And if you look at some of the third world countries, the family's number one. They're always together. They're tied. A family becomes a tribe. Like a family protects themselves from the outside evil forces, if I can say. Where in America, divorce is so high. TV, cinema, movie, they all, push on sexuality. They push on, having a mistress or mister or whatever, cheating on your spouse. They make it so cool. And it's because it's propaganda. It's because they want the people to be divorced, for their kids not to be united, for the family not to be united, because unity, you know, when when you're together, is hard to be influenced by external forces. And that's why I think in America they want the families to be divorced. They promote it like crazy on HBO and Cinemax, and the gangster movies, the country movies, every you can imagine, right? Because if people are united, is bad for the elites. It's bad for consumption. I mean, like, if you're hanging out with your family all the time, you're probably not gonna be on your phone all the time, right? Like everyone else. They want you to be divided. They want you to feel insecure, to feel deficiencies, so you can consume more. You can numb out by alcohol or drugs, by consumption, because it does feel good when you buy a Mercedes. It does feel good when you buy a Porsche. It does feel good when you get a Gucci or whatever you want to call it, whatever floats your boat. And by that, they're able to fool you out of your life energy. And that's the journey of what I am doing. Is what I found out is, man, over and over, mountains, climbing the mountains doesn't make sense. But I'm not going to go into that, because it's a whole different story, guys. Now, a couple other things, guys, before we get out of here. If you're new to real estate investing and you want to become a wholesaler, if you want to be a landlord, you want to start your real estate business, then you may want to take a look at my profit sharing coaching, where we meet every Saturday. I hold your hand, I answer every and all your questions to help you do deals, because whenever you do deals, that's when I get paid the big bucks, because we'll split the profits. Whenever you make the big bucks, that's when I get paid the big bucks versus other places out there, because other places want you to pay upfront. College, think about it. They want you to pay 20, 30, 60,000 upfront. Medical school, same thing, right? And then adios amigos, hopefully you make some money. Well, profit sharing is not like that. You pay 76 bucks a month. Holy moly, 76 bucks a month for 4 meetings, which is like $19 a meeting, dude. Okay, so I make my money not on the fucking meetings, right? I make my money on when you do deals. So whenever you're cashing big checks, I'm gonna get paid. So there's a linear interest for me to help you win, because I want to get paid more than $19 an hour. And house cleaner, an average house cleaner without a college degree, is charging 65, $85 an hour. So I don't want to work for 19 bucks, and I want to help you be your dreams, and I'm doing it as affordable as possible so I can get as many people that are truly hungry. Not everyone's gonna be able to get in. Just because you have the money, you're not gonna be able to get in. You gotta first of all not to be a pain customer, like a pain in the ass customer. I don't deal with that kind of crap, man. Okay, so we're not allowing anyone that's a pain in the ass, right? Who you are. So I'm not gonna define that. You gotta be motivated, dude. You gotta be coachable, right? You gotta be freaking hungry. Okay, and you got to have some money, because you can't be your dreams as a real estate investor with no money. If you're broke, then what you need to do is download the new Flip. The new Flip teaches you how to invest with just $100 by doing the new Flip, and it teaches a real estate business. And all you have to lose is $100 if you make a mistake. But if you don't make a mistake and you follow the instructions, what I've done and my other students have done, we've done all the way to 7x. So we put $100 in, we got a $700. We put $100 in, we got $300. So you learn how to do 1x, 2x, 3x, 4x, all the way to 7x with $100. You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't need a credit card. You don't need a hard money lending. You don't need any of this stuff. Just $100. Follow the instructions. Learn the business, the new Flip. If you can do the new Flip, you'll have success. If you're broke, okay, take that $100, magnify it 10 grand, 20 grand, 100K, whatever, and then you'll have some capital. If you have your money right, and you want to learn how to buy houses where the seller becomes your bank, if you want to buy houses at a deep discount, 60 cents in a sense, if you want to learn how to wholesale deals where you don't have to have money or credit or much money or credit, and get a deal on the contract and quickly sell it to a cash investor, a fix and flip or whatever, then you should join my profit sharing. It's 76 bucks a month. You'll need your tools for your business. Your tools are for your business to help you be your dreams. And great news is that the tools are 100% refundable once you finish your commitment. You say we're going to do 9 deals. We're going to split the profits of 9 deals. Once you finish your commitment, I will refund your money on your tools, or majority of your tools. One tool is not refunded, but all the other tools are refunded once you finish your commitment. So it doesn't get any better than that. I'll give you the gift of your business, like having your website, all the copy you need to attract sellers so you don't have to chase them, all the marketing you need to have them chase you versus you chase them, all the phone scripts, how to negotiate, how to structure, plus the coaching for just 76 bucks a month. You're not going to find that anywhere else. And this coaching cost $3,000 a month, guys. And I'm just doing it right now for a market test. I'm doing a marketing test, and I'll let you know why I'm doing this test now down the line, guys. So I have a limited amount of seats, and for 76 bucks, if you're interested in being a real estate investor, starting your business, then you should definitely get in my profit sharing coaching before it runs out. Where can you get more information about it? Go to MrNoFluFF.com or go to myrealestatedojo.com and then click on profit sharing, guys. It's the most affordable solution that I have to help as many of you guys as possible in the 2019 economic collapse, in my opinion, not financial advice, because I want to buy deals in all these states. So it doesn't matter if you're in California, New York, Chicago, Florida, whatever it is, you should definitely join the profit sharing so we can work together and do deals. Hustle and bustle. Don't take no for an answer. And remember this, guys. You already have what it needs to be your dreams. Okay? You just got to believe and do. Peace.